Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Hanging in there? All right, we'll wait a couple more minutes until we have some more people. And I know that not everybody had the opportunity to go buy their M&Ms yet. So I know now I have 6 people that have their M&Ms. But since there's 20 of us, that's not enough, just so you know. So, but you hopefully will be able to go get that by tonight. So you can do, what I'll do today is I'll go over the activity and then you guys will just have to do it on your own. This is what you're buying. You're buying a 1.69 ounce bag of plain M&Ms. They have to be the original colors. Okay. I know, I think, let me see who I have that did it already. Elena, McKenna, Bethel, Betty, Tyler, and Kelsey. So those are the ones I have so far. And then if for some reason you are absolutely unable to get your hands on a pack of these, you need to send me an email so I can give you data. So then you can still do the activity and I can have class data for everyone. All right. So how many of you read my updates and announcements this week? Nice. So, and you notice there's an Ed Rising meeting this Thursday. I think it's a little bit later. Did it say 4 o'clock now? I'm trying to remember what it said.
I have a question.
Yeah, it's at 4 o'clock. It's at 4 o'clock, the meeting. Yes, Karina.
So I looked throughout the whole store and throughout my house, and I could only find like this kind of bag. So is that okay or?
You don't want to use that whole bag. So I don't know how many are in here, but just email me, Karina, or I'll open a bag for you right now, and I'll just tell you what we're gonna adapt the activity. So, what store were you in where you couldn't find these?
I went to Safeway, so that might have been why. It's not like a huge Safeway. I found it weird. I even asked the lady, and she said that was all they had. So like,
That is weird. They weren't up just by the checkout.
I went up to the checkout, but this is all the bags that they had, and the
That
other
is
ones
so
were like
weird.
Reese's Pieces or whatever. So
That is so strange. That's okay. No worries. Normally, when we're face to face in class, I just bring them for everyone, you know, and then it's easy because then I know everybody has the right one. But my online students do this activity too. So, and they obviously, I'm never giving them some, they have to go get their own.
yeah.
That's weird. But yes, Karina, just to remind me, and before the end of class, I'll send you your data and just put that data in the Google form. Okay. Okay, so let me give you a little overview. So today we're starting data analysis and statistics. So we're going to be talking about types of graphs in the beginning, and then we'll move towards measures of central tendency and measures of spread and percents and percentiles, the difference between those. And then that's pretty much all we cover in statistics and probability. So because in measures of central tendency, we have the mean, median, and mode. And then measures of spread, we have the range, the mean absolute deviation, the standard deviation, and the IQR. So those are our measures of spread. So, and what I just realized is our midterm is like imminent, like crazy, like next week. And you're like, what is happening right now? So I can't even remember what my dates are on my syllabus, but I thought they were Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. There's no way we're going to be able to do it by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So we'll be looking at the later part of next week. And I'll, after class, by tonight, I'll make sure I have that schedule all up and get that out to you and get all the questions out to you. Okay. So we have that. You have a team assignment that's going on, right? Yes. Seem familiar? Anyone have questions on your team assignment? I'm going to check in on it right now, make sure we all know what's going on, because that's due a week from today, right? That team assignment. And it looks like we have 9 people that still are not on a team. Remember, you pick your own team now. I have 3 teams that are full. And then I have a couple teams with just 1 person on it. So, and then a couple teams with nobody on it. So, you know, the people that are not on a team yet, S.A., Andrea, Karina, Alyssa, Michaela, Sydney, Amanda, Sarah, and Kelsey. So if you are one of those people and you like any of the other people that I listed, you could type to them in the chat right now that says, hey, somebody come be on my team. We also have 2 people that no one is on their team yet. It's Brianna. Oh no, is on Brianna's team now. So, and Elena. So sign up with those people and then make sure you read through it and get it handled. So, and if you have any questions, let me know. It's pretty easy to sign up, right, Essay? It was pretty easy to sign up. Just took a second, right? You just go. Did you have any trouble?
It was very simple.
Nice. So just go to people, go to, you'll see probability and statistics team, and then put yourself on a team. So, and you're all good. Okay. What else? Any questions for me about anything we just talked about before we get started?
I have a question, but it's in regards to the M&Ms. I got the M&Ms, but I was looking at the form right now, and so are we going to be filling that out after the activity?
No, you're filling it out before the activity. I mean, you have to do, if you read the directions on the activity, do you have the activity? Does everybody have the activity?
Yeah, but it says it's locked because I haven't submitted my notes that are due today. So
Okay.
the only way I was able to access it was through the inbox links that you sent.
Yeah, and so as long as you can access it, you can read it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're good. So if you look at this assignment, the first thing it says is before you open your bag, answer the following. What color of M&Ms do you think will occur most often in your bag? What will occur least often in your bag? And do you think the class data will match your bag? Why or why not? So make sure you answer those three. If you didn't answer those three, but you already fill out the Google form, just pretend you didn't know that information, right? So, and then you'll be good. So, yep, the team assignments due Monday the 19th, right? Isn't that the due date on Canvas? Yep, there you go. So Monday the 19th. Okay. So the M&M activity, we're going to start in just a minute. Make sure that you follow along, even if you don't have your M&Ms, because I'm just going to go over it briefly, and then we'll move on to something else. And then you guys, once you have your class data, I'm hoping I have everybody's data by tonight at 11:59 p.m. So once I have everybody's class data tomorrow morning, I will send you out the class data for the M&Ms and you'll be able to complete the rest of the activity. Okay. And you'll know more about that in just a second. All right. So let me share my screen. I do want to do a Mindfulness Monday activity. And the reason I want to do it is because some of my classes have started to lose focus on what's happening. Like we have just started, I don't know, like thinking the semester's over and it's not yet, or having trouble getting motivated to finish. And you guys have barely scratched the surface and you have a lot to do, right? So we need to make sure we stay motivated for that. And if she talks in the video a little bit about when these thoughts come into your head, and she talks about you watching a previous video, which you might not have watched, but it's talking about distractors coming into your head. So, and if you're like me, they come into your head all the time. Like when you're doing anything, you start thinking about something else. So you're even working on a math problem, or maybe you're in class and you start thinking about, oh, I need to go to the store, right? Oh, I better make sure I put laundry soap on my list. You know, all these random thoughts. So don't let those come into your ideas when you're thinking about it. So, okay, so I'm going to share this video. It's a little bit longer. You can turn off your cameras. But just make sure you are really being mindful, because that's the idea.
Hey again, Caitlin here from Enso Theater Ensemble, and for today's Monday Mindfulness, I want to share with you a mindful movement exercise. So you can practice this in a subtle capacity, in public, while you're waiting for the bus, while you're walking to work, anything like that. Or you can do this in a more expanded capacity where you actually integrate this into your audition warm-up or your rehearsal warm-up or something like that. Either way, this is a really, really nice practice to just add to your mindfulness tool set, and it also is a nice way to just practice continued self-care to your body. So the way that we're going to start is just with 3 deep breaths. Really simple. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And as you do this, just notice if any thoughts arise, like we talked about in my last video, and try not to grab onto them. When they arise, just notice that they're there, and then redirect your thoughts to the exhale of your breath. So that breath might look something like this. And then once you've created that little gap between whatever was happening in your day-to-day and this moment where you've decided to take a mindful check-in for yourself, then we're going to take your left hand and your right thumb, and you're just going to start creating a little gentle massage in your hand. And this might look like, I usually try to do some circles. Sometimes I start from the inside of my palm and work outward, just pushing and moving the skin a little bit. And this might extend out into your fingers. And if massaging feels a little funky, this can just be touch. It can just be like a really nice warm sensation on your hand. All you're trying to do is to create an anchor, right? Again, it's a focus for where to bring your mind back to when you notice your mind has wandered. And as we're practicing this mindful movement, we're going to practice a little gratitude practice, and it goes a little something like this. I'm going to look at my hand and think about the ways in which my hand supported me today. So my day job is I do quite a bit of typing and sending emails. So I'm going to send gratitude to my hand today for sending all those emails and making me the money that I need to live. Thank you for making that possible. And then my massage might move down to my wrist, and it might move down to my forearm a little bit, and then I might think about the way in which my arm supported me today. One way that my arm supported me today is I gave my husband a hug in the morning, and I really appreciate that my arms allow me to express the love I feel for someone who's really important to me in my life. And then this movement might take you to your chest. And your chest does so many things for you because in many ways, right, our chest is protecting us. It's protecting our heart. It's protecting our emotions. We hold so much emotion and often anxiety in our chest. So just a little bit of love here, a little bit of gratitude that this part of your body was holding you today. And then you can move on to your other arm and all the way down and then into your other hand and just finish with this complete loop. And that's it. Really, really simple. So like I said, you can practice this in a subtle capacity by just like having your hand in your lap and just like, just doing some massage, just practicing some gratitude right now. Or, right, you could take this into a warm-up. You could start with your feet and do your full legs and maybe even your torso up to your chest, all the way through your face. And you could really get every part of your body feeling really alive and zingy and also full of gratitude. So I hope you really enjoyed that. If you try it, as always, please let me know in the comments below and have
All right. I don't know if you guys like that one, but I do like that one. I think it's a good one because she's a little more energetic than some of the other people that we've listened to, right? Their voices are very calming, but it almost wants me not to get ready for the day. It makes me want to go to sleep. Whereas this activity is a little more engaging and what makes me want to get ready for something, right? And do stuff. So I like that one. All right. So there is one thing I want to point out with your team project that you're doing. It's the idea of case sensitivity and what that means. Okay, so if something is case sensitive, do your problems have case sensitivity in them? They do, right? I didn't dream that, did I? I'm doing a project in another class too that's also on probability. And so I was like, wait, am I talking about the wrong one? Have you guys looked at those problems yet? Do they talk about case sensitivity? Yes, no. I know some people have started it.
Two and three look like they have case sensitivity.
Okay, thank you, Tyler. So case sensitive, does anyone know what that word means or what that phrase means?
Is it in regards to uppercase or lowercase?
Yes.
Just that if it's case sensitive, then it's going to be sensitive to seeing the different letters as representing two different things. So capital A is going to be different than a lowercase a.
Absolutely. So a capital A and a lowercase letter are different if it says it's case sensitive. If it says it's not case sensitive, then those two are read the same. So a capital A and a lowercase a are the same if it says not case sensitive. Does that make sense? I just want to make sure, because if you get those wrong, you're not going to do well on that team assignment. Okay. So let's talk about our M&Ms. First, if you haven't bought your M&Ms, no worries. Don't worry about it right now, okay? You don't have to have bought your M&Ms. Now, the question is, will you be able to get a bag of M&Ms before 11:59 p.m.? And you can think about it for a few seconds. And if you think there is absolutely no way I'm going to be able to go buy a bag of 1.69 ounce plain M&Ms, you need to type to me privately in the chat so I know that and I can give you other data. Okay, because we need we need data from every person, and I don't want you to make it up because you'll mess up our statistics. Okay, so think about that. If you can't, then put it in the chat. The other thing is you need to look at your bag and see where it was packaged. And I'm trying to find mine on my package. Mine
It's like
says,
right under.
yeah, mine says Hackettstown, New Jersey on mine. And it's on the back side under like all the ingredients, under where it says allergy stuff, right? And then it says distributed by Mars, Wrigley, and then it's right under there. So you need to make sure before you eat them all and you throw it away that you pay attention to where this was packaged. Okay. Then, so on this document, let me share my screen. So here's our candy graphing. Before you open the bag, say which color you think will occur most often in your bag and just say why. And this is exactly how I did it with a classroom of elementary school kids. And kids would say things like, oh, I think the one that would appear most often is brown because I always get brown. You know, like my kids say strange thing. And if yours wasn't brown, that's fine. Say whatever you think. And then the one you would occur least often, write that down. And then do you think our class data will match the data in your bag? Why or why not? So take about, I don't know, 2 minutes to answer those 3 questions. Brianna, that is so weird. I've never seen a 1.74 ounce bag. Is it plain M&Ms? Oh, they're peanut. Can't use them. Can't use peanut. They're different. You can eat them, but you can't use them for this data. Okay. I know, it's so weird. I don't know M&Ms were such a hot commodity. No worries, Brianna.
The best.
What?
I feel like the peanut ones are the best.
That my husband would agree with you. I'm into quantity over quality. There's more in the plain, right, Sarah? Yeah, you have to buy.
I like peanut M&Ms better too.
You have to buy plain milk chocolate ones. That's the only kind. So that's for our statistics. So plain milk chocolate. Like you can't buy the discount 75% off Easter ones that are spring mix. We can't use those. By the way, I've done that before when I've done this activity. And then I'm gone, oh my gosh, my entire packet doesn't match this now. Because I was tired of buying M&Ms for all my students. Yep, it matters. A big difference. So Alyssa, you can eat your almond, but don't use your almond data. I'll have to give you data. Okay, so did everybody make their predictions? Of what occurred most, what occurred least, what they think would occur most, and what would occur least. Type in the chat, in a 3-2-1 chat, which one you thought would occur most. Okay, and we'll do which one would occur most. 3, 2, 1, go. Did everybody vote? Okay, it doesn't matter if you don't have M&Ms right now, as long as you voted on which one you think will appear most often or least often. Everybody
so you
got
want us
that?
to type both, the least and the most?
First, we just did the
Oh,
most,
the most. Okay.
right? First, we just did the most. Okay, so it looks like, let's total those. Let's see, we have blue. We have 1, 2, brown. We have 1 red. We have 1 brown, another 1 red, brown, brown, blue, red, 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 brown, red, 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 blue, and red. 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That seems perfect. All right, so I have that 10 people said red, 5 people said brown, and 4 people said blue. So tell me why, those of you that said red, why did you say that you think red's going to occur most often in your bag? What was your reason? Anyone who said red?
Are you wanting us to type it or say it?
No, just tell me.
Oh, okay. I feel like I remember a study where like red and yellow were like the bright colors to get people's attention with fast food, so I chose red.
Nice. Anyone have a different reason that they picked red?
I said red because he's the popular M&M that
Yeah.
I always see on commercials and everything.
Yeah, the character. Yeah, nice. Anyone else have a different reason they picked red?
Yeah, pretty much what Sunita said, and like the little person on the M&Ms is red. So I was just like, well, that probably would occur the most.
Okay. How about those of you that said brown? Any reason on brown?
So my guess is kind of a two guess that it will either be brown or green, because brown and green are kind of like the cheapest colors to produce, like from like an economic standpoint. Like I remember this because the only reason the Hulk is green is because it's cheaper. It was cheaper for him to be done in green ink than his original color.
Interesting.
So I'm just thinking, well, I guess, and like, then there must be like a lot of access to green coloring or brown coloring, so that they'll be more common.
Nice.
Cheaper.
Anyone else have a different reason for brown?
I just said brown because it comes in a brown packaging. Like the bag is brown.
That's
Yeah.
what I said too,
Yeah.
Vanessa.
I
Yeah.
agree. The bag is brown. Yeah.
That's the same reason I had.
Nice, Betty. Okay, and then how about blues? There were 4 of you that said blue. Why blue?
Well, I said blue because I feel like every time I open a bag of M&Ms, the first thing that pops out is a blue M&M.
Nice.
So I feel like I always get those.
Yeah, so just from prior experience, and when you talk, the reason this is an important part of the activity is because when you talk to kids, we'll talk about like mathematical reasoning and then just anecdotal reasoning, right? Like prior experience is what Karina is saying. When she opens it, she sees a blue one, where Elena's might be a little more research based, where she's like, oh, I feel like this is a cheaper kind of dye, or Sunita's, Madison's, and I think Hannah's were all kind of marketing driven, where you're like, oh, the red M&M is most popular, or because through advertising, maybe that's the one that makes you the hungriest. I don't know. Okay, good. So how about the least? What one did you think would appear the least in your bag? So let's put that in the chat. In 3, 2, I just want to make sure I end. Okay, 1, go. And help me total those, make sure I don't go crazy on this. I'll do it. Brown, orange, yellow. Okay, so let's see. Brown, orange, yellow. We got another brown. All right, let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 19. There we go. Okay, so I had 9 people said brown, 2 orange, 3 yellow, 3 red, and 2 blue. So browns, that you said that they were the least. Anyone have a reason why they picked brown as the one that would occur least often in their bag?
I feel like it's because the packaging is brown, and so maybe they wanted the M&Ms to be more colorful instead. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they're more fun to eat, right? So they'd put fewer of those in there. Good. Anyone else have a different reason for brown? There were a lot of you for brown.
For me, like, again, it was based on my experience. I feel like I've never seen a brown M&M before. Like, it's rare to me.
I feel like Tyler and I get all the browns then. That's what's happening, man. Yeah. Now you've seen it. Karina, Tyler just showed you. You could open your giant bag, unless you're returning it to the store, by the way, and just peek your head in there and look, right? And see if what the overwhelming amount is. Okay. So those of you that said orange, why did you say orange? Because only 2 of you said orange. Did some people forget that there were orange ones? Yeah. Those of you that said orange, what was your reason for orange? Yeah, rarely ever gotten orange. Okay. Same with yellow. Do you feel the same with yellow? Oh my gosh, that's so funny, Alyssa. Do you know orange is my son's favorite color? Yeah. One of my son's favorite color is orange. Like anything orange, he's like, that's why it's the best, because it's orange. I have no idea. I've never thought anybody had an orange as their favorite color, but it is. And then a couple of you said red or blue. So it's interesting that we're all over the place, right? Some of us have that as our favorite, or the one that would occur the most, or the one that would occur least. Kids have the funniest reasons when you go over it. I had a kid say blue is going to be the most common because it's my favorite color. So there you go, right? The blue is going to appear most often because it's his favorite color, and that's what's going to be in the bag. I was like, okay, there we go. That's an interesting reason. So do you think our class data will match the data in just your individual bag? Because this is what we're going to do. we're all getting our data from our bag, right? And that's your sample. And then I'm taking all of our data together and then I'm going to distribute that. So do you think that our class data is going to match the data in your bag? Why or why not? Anyone? Just go ahead and answer out loud.
I said no because when they fill up these packagings, I'm pretty sure they do it at random. They just fill it up and then they just move on to the next. So it's randomly distributed. So some people may get maybe close to one color group, but I don't think no one will ever get like the same amount of colors.
All right. So how many of you think that it's random? Like there's no distribution? A lot of you. Okay. Is there anyone who thinks that, no, this is not random? A couple of you. All right. Now, if you have some insider information, don't tell us. Okay. Don't tell us if you have some insider info. Okay. So probably our data is not going to match. And you could even liken that to experimental versus like theoretical probability, right? Because if we have a really small sample, my bag might just have a ton of a certain color in it and someone else's might not, right? Okay. So interesting, Elena. Okay. So now the next thing you get to do, now, is there anyone who has their M&Ms with them and they're plain and they haven't opened them yet? Like, because they didn't fill out the form yet. A couple of you. Okay. So if that's you, then now you can open your bag of M&Ms. If it's not you because you don't have them, that's totally fine. But here's what you have to be careful. And notice my directions on my worksheet. It says, do not eat any of the M&Ms. As you can imagine, if you're doing this with school-age children, that needs to be abundantly clear because they will eat them all and then you don't have any data. So be careful. And this is not a day one activity, right? You need to establish some norms in your room so they understand that when you give them something, they just don't go crazy with it, right? They have to wait until directions are given. So statistical data are often displayed graphically. So using a graph rather than simply presenting the data as a set of numbers makes it easier to study relationships in the data. So if you arrange your M&Ms in your bag on the frequency graph on the next page, it's called a real graph. So if we go over to this page right here, if we put our actual M&Ms on the paper, which is what you would do with kids in front of you, right? They would each have their own paper and they would line up the M&Ms on the graph, right? Like, so for example, I have my M&Ms, but mine are gigantic. I need to zoom in on this a little bit. You won't be able to see the colors because they all just look black on here, I think. I'll put a few on there so you can see. I'm not putting my whole bag on there. And this activity definitely modified once I put it online, you know. So I'll just put a few on there so you can see it. And then I'll move my webcam down to my iPad so you can see my M&Ms on my graph, right? So, and that would be a real graph when I have actual items on there. Has anyone seen a real graph with kids before? Has anyone seen a shoe graph? That's probably the most popular graph to do in young elementary school. So they have each kid take off one shoe and they line them up. Have you seen this before? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? So a lot of times it's in kindergarten and they do it with like Velcro shoes, right? Versus tennis shoes, right? So they put like how your shoe fastens. So is it a Velcro shoe? Is it a slip-on shoe? Or is it a tie shoe? And they'll put their shoes out. So they'll take off one shoe and line them up. Well, when they're lining up their shoes, that is a real graph because they can see the actual item being graphed, right? By the way, kindergarten is probably my limit to do a shoe graph because do not do a shoe graph in 5th grade. You will not be able to smell in your room for about a week. So kids must keep their shoes on in class, especially if they're in 5th grade, right? It's true. Okay, so your real graph, you put them all out there. Yes? Sorry, I just slid my whole thing because I did it. Okay. After you do it, you're going to record the number of M&Ms of each color and the total number of M&Ms in your bag. Then you're ready to fill out the Google form. So I'll give you a couple minutes for that. I'm going to give you, some of you need data from me, right? So if you're waiting for data from me, if you think you can go get your own M&Ms, that's awesome. Otherwise, Karina, I'm sending you your data right now. And then I know Sydney asked for data. I'm guessing Alyssa needs data. Okay, Karina, I sent you yours. And let me get the rest. Hold on 1 second. The rest of you.
Sorry, I stepped out for a second. What are we doing right
People
now?
are just getting their M&M data right now. So, and they're just keeping track of them for just a sec. Okay, the rest of you are just going to have to wait because I cannot find my data. Okay, and if you don't have M&Ms, but you're going to get them, that's okay. So, and then once you do that, you're going to take off each candy from the graph, the real graph that we made, and you're going to color in the dots on there. And when you color them in, you're going to remove the M&Ms, so then you'll have an actual pictograph. Now it'll be a pictograph instead of a real graph, because once you don't have real items, it's now called a pictograph, so a picture graph. Okay. If you're waiting for me, that's totally fine. Okay, I can't give you guys all the data right now, so just send me an email after class. So we're moving on. Okay, so send me an email after class so I can give you that data. All right, after I give you the data, this is what you're going to do. Once you get all of your M&Ms, you're going to fill out this pictograph. You're going to take a picture of it and you're going to submit it onto the discussion board. Okay. Once you upload your M&M pictograph to the discussion board, you're going to compare your pictograph to other classmates' pictographs, describing any similarities or differences and why they might not have occurred. Okay. So, you should be able to do that. And that should be a quick discussion board, probably one of the easiest you'll do, but make sure you do 2 students, right? At least. Then you're going to do dot plots. So this brings us to what is a dot plot. So after you get the class data, Tuesday morning, I'll send you all the class data. Okay. And then you will make dot plots, and your dot plots will look like this. I have a whole page for your dot plots. And so, for example, this is a dot plot of yellow M&Ms. So we have on each dot plot, you should have a title, which I already did for you. You should also have labels of your minimum and maximum on your dot plot. And then as you look at the data, every time you see that someone had a certain number in their sample, you're going to make an X. They used to be dots. But the reason we like X's better is sometimes the dots are harder to read. So you could make dots or X's, it doesn't matter. So if we look at this dot plot, you can see that one person had 2 yellow M&Ms, 2 people had 5 yellow M&Ms, and then 3 people had 8 yellow M&Ms. Obviously, this dot plot is in progress. It's not done yet because they wouldn't have included 14 if they didn't have any data up there, right, as their maximum value. So, but then after you do all your dot plots, you're going to total all our M&Ms in the class. Okay, so you're going to say how many yellow we had, how many red we had as a whole class, and then how many M&Ms total. Okay, after you do that, you're going to make a pictograph using class data. Do you see how that's highlighted yellow? So you're going to use our class data. So then one circle isn't going to represent one M&M because we're going to have a lot more than that. So you have to decide what one circle is going to represent. Is it going to be 10 M&Ms? Is it going to be 20 M&Ms? Is it going to be 5 M&Ms? I don't know. You get to decide. And then you're going to color in these M&Ms, okay, to make that. Then you're going to make a bar graph, and it's going to be a horizontal bar graph. So for example, let's say, here's my bar for red, and then I have a bar for blue, and so on, right? But let's say these should be drawn with a straight line, which is very hard right now while I'm just doing it on my iPad. I could use the line tool. But, and these bars should not touch. Okay, and they should be approximately the same width. You should have a label here and you should have numbers here. Okay, and again, that's class data. Then you're going to answer these questions. Which was easier to construct, the bar graph or the pictograph? Which was easier to read, and why? Then I have a video for you to watch on turning a bar graph into a circle graph. And I would just want your opinion, what you think of the activity, and if it's mathematically sound. And you could even try it if you wanted to. Then I want you to calculate the percent of each color in our class sample. And then the last thing you're going to do is I have a link to the actual data from the M&M Mars company. Don't look at it until the end, okay? So I wrote the M&M Mars company because they used to have it published on their website of what percent was in each sample, and they don't anymore. And so I sent them a message and they responded that same day with all their data for me. So that was real nice. So in case you're trying to do a real activity in your own classroom and you don't know the data from the company, send them a message. Most companies are very willing to help you as a teacher. If you reach out and say, I'm a teacher, I'm doing a class activity. I've done ones with Reese's Pieces before. I've done them with M&Ms. I've done them with Starburst. So, and I've always reached out to the company and they're very responsive. So, and that's the end of your M&M packet. Okay. So any questions about the M&M activity, what you're supposed to do?
I have a quick question, just to clarify. When you were talking about the M&M frequency for our individual ones, and you said upload it, do we just upload the picture you said, and then we comment on everybody's stuff, or about
on your pictograph?
Yeah.
On your pictograph, yes, you're just going to upload your pictograph. You don't have to make any post other than your picture, and then you're going to comment when you have when you can see others.
Okay.
Okay, looking, and you have to comment to at least 2, looking for similarities and differences.
Okay, thank you.
Normally in class, we would just hold them all up and we would do that out loud, right? Okay. Once you've taken them off your frequency, off of your real graph, you can eat them. And I have a note on there that you can eat them. So, and if you're stuck, you can go through our slides because it has a walkthrough of these things. Okay, so the other part of this activity that you have to do by Wednesday is a foldable. And the foldable looks like this. So you'll see we have numerical data displays of stem and leaf plots, histograms, and dot plots. And then we have categorical displays, which are pictographs, bar graphs, and circle graphs. So this is a piece of paper that folds, right? These two sides fold in. So it's going to be a 6-door foldable. And this data on the front, you just do sample data, just make it up. Okay, but this front side should be filled out. So if you see, oops, sorry, in this one, you can see I just colored in some, right? So we could see that that's my sample data. On the inside of this foldable, you're going to have advantages and disadvantages of each of the types of data displays. And if you notice, through just the M&M activity, we go through, just through the M&M activity, we go through pictographs, bar graphs, circle graphs, and dot plots. All 4 of those we go over in the M&M activity. So that's a lot of data displays to cover using one packet. So that's really nice. And then the other ones, you will cover, you do a stem and leaf plot and a histogram in the group data activity that's this week. It's called the grouped data activity. Okay, so the outside of that is just sample data. The inside is advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so that being said, the other thing I want us to do, so here's an example of what the foldable looks like, just so you know. Okay, and this one's not done because there's nothing on that right-hand side yet. But on the inside, you're going to put advantages and disadvantages. All right, so the last thing I want to talk to you about for today is types of data. So when we talk about types of data, we have non-numerical data, which we call qualitative data or categorical data. And then we have numerical data, which we would call quantitative data. So I tend to use the words categorical and numerical instead of qualitative and quantitative, because qualitative and quantitative are so close to each other for kids, you know, spelling wise and understanding. It's hard for them to see those differences. So categorical data is something that is just like a category. It's not numerical, whereas numerical data is numbers, okay? All right. Within quantitative data, we have discrete versus continuous data. Does anyone know the difference between continuous and discrete? An easy way to say the difference between them is continuous data is measured, whereas discrete data is counted. Okay, so if I'm measuring something, in other words, there's stuff all along this continuum. Like for example, if I measure your temperature, right, that's a continuous variable because I could have 102, I could have 102.1, I could have 102.015, right? Like I could have all of these things in between. Whereas if I just want to count something like the amount of goals scored in a game, that's going to be discrete. Yeah, because I can't score 1.5 goals. I can only score 1 goal or 2 goals, right? Or 3 goals. So that there's space in there, right? So that's the difference between discrete and continuous. Okay, so I have a Desmos activity that I want you to try, and it's a card sort, and I am not sure I've perfected the card sort, just so you know, but I want you to try the activity, and it should tell you how many you have correct or incorrect, and you can all you can all do your own, and I'm just going to check them after class. But if you want to talk to each other about them, you can talk to each other. So I could put you in breakout rooms so you can say, "Oh, what do you think for this one?" Okay. So I put a link in the chat, maybe. I put a link in the chat. If you click that link, it should open another window and you should be able to type your name in there and really type your real name so I can give you credit for doing this activity. Okay. And then I'll put you in breakout rooms and you don't have to worry. I mean, the Zoom just helps you talk to each other, you know, but you can, everybody should do this individually. Okay, so let me get you in these.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I clicked on it and it says I'm not signed in. It says sign in with Desmos or continue without sign in. Can I continue without signing in or do I?
Yeah, just if you don't finish, it won't save anything.
Okay.
That's the only difference.
So do you recommend I sign in then?
It's up to you. And you should be able to sign in with Google, can you? Yeah, so I just use your Maricopa.
Okay, okay.
That's what I would, that's what I always do, because then it saves everything just in case. Okay. Everybody doing okay on it? Making sense? Okay, I'm going to open your rooms. I'll come by and visit you. Thing or whatever. So, okay, I'm ready.
For mine, I wasn't able to log in with my email, so I logged in just with my first and last name, and now it says at the end, congratulations, completed the activity. This activity be graded manually by your instructor. Is there a way that you're able to see it, or is there a different way?
Yeah, I can see, so you're fine.
Okay.
Yep,
Right,
I can see. I can see on mine.
Okay.
I don't know why it's being weird. And I was going to show you what it looks like from a teacher perspective too. So,
Okay,
yep,
but you
I
are
can
able to see my name?
Yep, I can
Okay.
see that you finished it. The only
Okay.
thing it does is if you, like, if you didn't finish the activity,
Mm-hmm.
then it would just show me where you stopped. You
Okay.
see what I mean?
Yeah. Okay then. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Yay, everybody's back. Has any of you ever done a Desmos activity before like that? Have any of you done one before?
I only use Desmos for the calculator.
Ah, yeah. So Desmos teachers activities are awesome, especially because a lot of them are pre-done for you and you can just borrow them and they're all free. Has anyone done Nearpod before? Okay, so Nearpod is a kind of a similar thing that's more not just for math, but you could see, you could make these cards for anything. You wouldn't have to just use them for math. But Nearpod is a little more proprietary for me. So Nearpod is, yeah, Nearpod is great, but see, Beth has a license through MCC, but we only had a certain number of licenses. So I don't have a license through MCC because they were all gone. And the problem is if you can use their free stuff, but their proprietary stuff is better because you can use student paced. But Desmos is free all the way around. So I prefer Desmos because I don't want to invest in something that, what if I change schools or districts? Am I going to lose that and have to pay out of my own pocket? And by the way, Nearpod's not cheap. Nearpod for an individual license is like $200 a year. A year. From a teacher, yeah. So that's not going to happen. So I use Desmos. The other thing I wanted to show you about Desmos, though, I'm going to stop sharing my screen right here and show you with my other screen how cool it is. So I'm going to share my Desmos with you right now. Right now you can see your names, right? And there's no grades, so I didn't care. But if I click this button, can you guys see the screen? I clicked anonymize. Do you see that button right up there in the top left? So now it changed everybody's name. So like somebody's Florence Nightingale, right? Alan Turing. You can see all these different famous people in history. Why is my screen all jumpy? That's weird. Anyway, and I can put it back and see your real names when I'm not sharing it with the whole screen. But I can also look at a certain individual as well. So I can see, do you see, like, I can see who's way down here on this one. I can see who's higher. And then all the green cards are the ones that were sorted correctly. And then it'll also tell me the most common incorrect groups. So the most common incorrect cards, it's very nice. And I can see where each student is. But in the summary, I can see which students finished, which students didn't finish, and so on. So it's actually a super cool thing. I can also take snapshots of different students' information and put it up. So Desmos is really cool. I can go back, I can see what everybody wrote, you know, for everything. And students can see each other. Did you notice you could see each other's probably on this card sort? I didn't have you enter in any data, but sometimes I have students discussing things, and so they can see what other students are putting on the screen. So that's kind of cool. And me as the teacher, I can see everyone at once. So very, very handy. I love Desmos. And this card sort is new, so they're constantly upgrading, you know, things all for free. Okay, now we're done. Finish your M&M data, okay? And I just changed, this is your week. Our M&M Google form, which you're gonna do, right? Even if I gave you your data, you have to put it in the Google form, just so you know, okay? You're gonna do your pictograph and the M&M activity. Your foldable is a nice one. This group data activity is nice. It's about the presidents. Beware of bias. And then due next Monday, which I would not leave it till next Monday. You have all of these things. Now, this was our old exit ticket. I just made a new one since I changed the activity so much. So here is your exit ticket. I hope. Nope, hold on. Let me put it in the chat again. Can I just copy you? Just let me copy you. Oh, annoying. Okay, hold on. I know the QR code will work in case you're using the QR code, but I'll put it in the chat right now as soon as my mouse starts working again. Very annoying. Okay, so here you go. And that's your week. So you should be good. Like I said, I'll put up midterm information as well as signups as soon as possible and give you those dates by tonight. Okay? Otherwise, have a great day. Don't forget your M&M stuff by tonight so I can send you your data.
Thank you.
Yep. See you tomorrow.